I'm about 6'3" for reference. If I played basketball, I'd probably be rostered about 6'4". Brandon Ayuk, the Sun Devils' leading receiver in touchdowns and receiving yards, stands at 6'1". Elijah Griffin will probably guard him as he's CB1 for the Trojans, 6 foot flat. Here's the big play. Michael Pittman Jr., whoa. He leads SC in receiving yards and touchdowns, and he's 6'4". Kobe Williams, the corner who will look to lock down Pittman Jr., is 6 inches shorter than him. 6. Height isn't everything in ball, but it sure helps. You can't lose if you don't play anyone, Joran. Thanks for tuning in. House of Sparky, Zach Keenan, Joran Palacio. ASU is still 5-3 on the season. Brandon Ayuk extended his arm into the end zone with 1:40 left on the clock. 35-34 was written on the scoreboard, and for most coaches, a difficult decision would be on the immediate horizon. For Herm Edwards, the question was already answered. Probably before the game even started, to be honest. The failed two-point conversion was the most talked about topic after Saturday's loss to Oregon State. 35-34, a 1-point win coming from the Oregon State Beavers over Arizona State. Zach Keenan, Brady Vernon here for House of Sparky on field at Reser Stadium in Corvallis. Brady, again, a 1-point margin where win was so close at the end there, that 2-point conversion. What happened? Spiral, knuckle, rugby, pooch, S-bend, banana, reverse banana, and the drop. I'm missing a few, but those are among the paintbrushes a punter can choose from each time he steps 15 yards behind the long snapper. 66-64 was the final as the Sun Devils came back to defeat the USC Trojans. Zach Keenan, Jacob Rosenfarb here for House of Sparky. Jacob, I mean, ASU trailed by 8 at halftime, and then they came back and they won the game by 2. What do you think Coach Bobby Hurley said to his team at halftime that must have just sparked them to do something great? Welcome into Oceanside Ice Arena in Tempe, Arizona. Zach Keenan alongside Chase Dryberg. Today is game 2 of a 2-game series of the Sun Devils take on the University of Vermont Catamounts. Last night was a 2-1 win, Chase, and what a game, especially for the Sun Devils. We saw James Sanchez pick up 2 goals. Both were assisted by Brinson Pashnuk as well as Josh Maniscalco, but really special teams seemed to be the winner, weren't they? Not that Jaden Daniels had thrown for over 300 yards with 3 touchdowns, not that Brandon Ayuk had nearly a 200-yard game, and certainly nobody was talking about Kalen Kearse-Thomas's 11-tackle, 1-sack game. Instead, Herm's decision to go for 2 made headlines on every ASU football beat. All good things must come to an end, as this win streak did for men's basketball. Thank you for tuning into the House Hardcourt. Zach Keenan. With me is Jackson Zuber. The Sun Devils aren't a ragtag middle school team where everyone gets to play equally. They're a team competing for the Pac-12 South title, bowl contentions, and bragging rights against U of A. Recognizable names transferring away from the program may seem like cause for concern, but really, it's just a sign of the times. I am so excited to see Marcus Bagley at Desert Financial Arena, or whatever they end up calling the sponsor, by the time that he gets to Tempe. But we do have to take a step back and realize that the team has to make do with what they have right now. And that's why we bring on basketball analyst Ryan McClure to talk all about what's headed up next for the Sun Devil team. The bad news for this team is that the Pac-12 tournament is played in Las Vegas, not Desert Financial Arena. The Sun Devils may have just caught a speeding train in UCLA, but a 10-point road loss to USC showed off just how this team can struggle away from Tempe. Martin's shot hit every single part of the rim, but in the end, it was good for 2. ASU beats USC after dominating UCLA, Eric. Every other team is playing on the road, too. Oregon will finish their regular season 5-5 on the road. With one matchup to go, UCLA sits at 5-4 on the road. Even the 19-10 Arizona Wildcats will finish their year at 4-6 away from Tucson. But again, is there a right answer? Convert for 2 and put up a defensive stance to win the game, or kick and go to overtime in Corvallis? We'll never know. What I do know is this, that this is the first step in building a championship caliber program. I will not get ahead of myself here. We're talking about the Pac-12 South crown. But going for 2 shows that the team isn't settling. Herm isn't settling for 2-star recruits. He won't settle for a 500 season, and my guess is he won't settle for a season where the team misses a bowl game. He simply won't. The 500-yard freestyle. Running through our lane assignments, of course, we still maintained that Arizona State will stay in the, once we figure out Exactly. They'll stay in those even-numbered lanes. So we Jack Little in 2, Ryan King in 3, Ben Olszewski in 4, DJ Wang in 5, Julian Hill in 6, Ben Forbes in 7, and Jack Dolan for ASU in 8. Jack Dolan has really moved himself as what he could be, a premier swimmer in the NCAA, Grant.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and it's motivating and inspirational to see him train and just fully commit to whatever he does, and even in an event like this where he's not typically in the 500, still has a great prowess and ability to compete with the highest caliber athletes like you see here with Northwestern and ASU. I mean, he's a little bit of a loose cannon sometimes on the 2 freestyle or sprint events in practice too, but you know, it pays off at some point and you got to admire it.
So Julian Hill, the leader, another one of those freshmen who competes internationally, and he has been such a great force. What's it like being around Julian on the team?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, he's a great guy, great kid, and provides a lot of entertainment for the men's team especially. I'm sure the coaching staff, maybe not so much, but I mean, it's great to have these young guys here, all the energy, and want to come in and learn every day and just try to get better and ask questions and ask all the right questions, really. And I mean, that's one of the things that I try to help them with is they can ask anything and we'll work through how to get better with it. But it's neat, like you said, Julian, to have that international experience, bring that to the team, be a leader for the freshman class, and to go on to these achievements like the National Select Camp, which he's invited to later in this year, that he's able to go and get more experience with and compete against all these other national caliber swimmers.
So earlier, the 1,000 freestyle, DJ Wang from Northwestern with a runaway win over Ben Olszewski, but Olszewski holding his own in this 500 here. Now you're not a distance swimmer, but what do you look for when you watch one of these races? What do you watch? Do you see someone stroke? Do you try to keep your eye on the same person?
In the race or watching from afar?
Watching from afar.
Yeah, so I think definitely you want to, especially an event like the 500, I can speak more closely to that because that's one of the events that I tend to favor and specialize in as well. But you want to be able to get out fast, stay out fast, and then get into a groove where you can maintain that through the middle part, and then eventually at the end be able to close and finish without dying off, falling off. But it's a tricky event because it's in between. It's not the 200, which has turned into almost a complete sprint at this point. But it's not the 1,000 as well. So it's pretty much just a controlled sprint throughout and finding where exactly you want to make your move to try to win the event and take advantage in the race. And
you talked about how it's easy to die, it's easy to fade. We saw DJ Wang there in lane 5 falling back to 3rd place. The very first thing he did there when he went off the wall was he took a breath before he took a stroke. That's a sign of fading, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a sign of when you're getting tired. The technique fails, the details get a little bit sloppier, the discipline tends to drop a little bit, and so making sure you're staying on that is like the easiest way to not start to fade. And as you can see, these guys are getting after it here. It's definitely coming down to a lot of discipline and detail work within the turns, out of the turns, breathing in, breathing out. So.
Now, how much does strategy, you talked about earlier about finding your groove, how much does strategy come into the 500?
It's huge, and I think the biggest part of any strategy is sticking to your own. I think, obviously, Julian wanted to get out to a good lead and really got out after and hasn't fallen off yet and is having a great race here so far. But I think if he gets too worried about what everyone else is doing or maybe someone's saving up a little bit more and might have more energy, then that's where the race strategy really falls apart. But you got to stick to it and commit to it fully.
And Ben Olszewski, not a sprinter by any stretch. I've spoken with him before about his theory on lifting weights and that he doesn't want to. But we'll see as they enter the bell lap here if he can pull anything out of him to get this 2nd place finish, as he's a little further behind Wang right now. Julian Hill leading the pack. Now, Grant, both benches are fired up right now. You love to see how excited these teams are.
Oh, absolutely. And Julian going into the last lap with a little bit of a lead coming out the wall, so we'll see who can finish best here.
And you see both swimmers. You see Hills breathing on his left, Wang breathing on his right. They've got a good long look at each other all the way down to the wall. It'll be Hill in 4:29.36, beating out Wang by 1/10 of a second. Grant, what an incredible race to watch.
Absolutely. And I mean, you look at it in the final 15, you can analyze every single yard, but when you really analyze it at the end, Julian puts his head down in the last 10 meters and able to accelerate into the wall, and Wang simply wasn't able to do that as well. And so you see the result there. Just a couple 100ths makes the big impact.
Hey, it's those little seconds, the little things that you do that add up in swimming so greatly.
Absolutely.
Up next, the women's 100-yard butterfly. And so at center ice will be Gruber meeting Alex Smith. Both seniors. Smith, the captain. The draw is won by Smith. Flips it back to Swoyer. Swoyer in his defensive zone with a pass across the ice to Donahue. Donahue skating through, pushes the puck up. It's loose, picking it up with Jared Gorley behind DeBrouwer. In front of the net, the loose puck picked up by Swoyer. Swoyer with a shot put on, pushed away by DeBrouwer. Swoyer winds up for another slap shot along the blue line. It's intercepted. And this one will fire along and trail all the way over to the other side to Seamus Donahue going back into the Tech defensive zone. Donahue with the puck, skating around, still in their defensive zone. Nieram picks up the loose puck. Nieram to Bush. Bush fired on, and it's blocked by Brian Howland. And so a great opportunity, point blank on a defensive turnover for ASU. But Nieram push over to Bush. Bush's shot blocked. So Jurusik, the netminder for the Huskies, puts it behind his net. Leaves it for Swoyer, who's still on the ice, to Donahue. Donahue to Paratino. Paratino, the second liner, pushes it to Bliss. Trenton Bliss back to Paratino. Shot laid on right at the jersey of DeBrouwer. He easily saves it, but it back over to center ice. Huskies puck at center ice. This will be Bliss, Trenton Bliss. And it's taken by Johnny Walker. Walker on a breakaway to Jordan Sandu. Sandu leaves the puck back to Sandu. Shot goal scored! Jordan Sandu off the pass from James Sanchez. Sun Devils go up 3-0.
Just well executed there. Not much more you could ask for if you're ASU. They kind of also fell, I will say, in that first period, of kind of overcomplicating things towards the end. They kept it really simple there. Just a quick 1-2 pass in for the goal. Now 3-0 ASU.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from a 3-0 lead. We'll see if Michigan Tech has any fight left in them. But honestly, I think if ASU builds on this momentum, gets another goal here, then that's the night, really. That's a nail in the coffin in the second period, really. So just a minute 21 into the second period, ASU up 3-0.
Assistant number 61, James Sanchez.
As the face-off is won back to Tyler Rockwell.
Walker, top of the goal.
Puck goes all the way back to the ASU defensive zone. That'll be Evan DeBrouwer fielding it. And now the puck pushed up to center ice. Loose puck gained by Alec Broadsman. Broadsman's shot goes wide, and now the Sun Devils have an opportunity. PJ Morocco trying to move out of center ice. He can't get out of the neutral zone, and the puck is still being fought over. And the loose one is picked up by Arizona State. Skating it out of their defensive zone will be Josh Maniscalco. Maniscalco with an opportunity, takes the shot on Jurusik, and it's saved. Puck is still loose. Lemieux battling for it with Lipey behind the net. Lemieux comes out with it, and along the boards in the Arizona State offensive zone, Lemieux still has it. A pass all the way up to the blue line is picked up by Semick. Semick's shot goes wide. Lemieux finding the rebound, battling with Bryce. Shot up top goes to Semick. Semick's shot fired above the head of Jurusik. Buncis on the rebound, and now in Gretzky's office behind it as Lemieux. Lemieux skating along the boards. Buncis takes the loose puck to the blue line. Faking a slap shot once is Jack Judson. Along the tape over to Semick. And on the wraparound opportunity is nothing from Phillips Buncis. So this one will go back into ASU's defensive zone. Huskies battling for it now. Raymond Bryce skates it in himself, but he's dispossessed. And now the Sun Devils have a rush opportunity. That's going to be Steen Pashnuk bringing to the offensive zone for the Devils. Connor Stewart, new to the lineup today, is able to move that one in. This one goes back to the blue line. Wrister from the blue line is blocked, coming from Jacob Wilson. Calling for it is Connor Stewart, can't get it. Back to Wilson at the blue line. And now the puck is moved back into the neutral zone. Stewart feathers it in behind Jurusik. Picked up on his Stewart. Steen Pashnuk back to Connor Stewart, the sophomore out of Phoenix, Arizona. And he's dispossessed. So this one will be a Huskies rush opportunity now. Brian Hallinan bringing it in as his defensive and the rest of his offensive players go for a line change, so he's trapped behind DeBrouwer. After James Sanchez pins him, the Sun Devils able to get the puck out of there. Jared Gurley that was on the board pin, so now the puck goes behind Jurusik. ASU will go for a full barracks change. The pass is intercepted from Mitch Meek. And Tyler Bush now in the Arizona State offensive zone. Bush goes behind, all the way around to Brett Gruber. Gruber skating around, can't connect with Brinson Pashnuk, and Hallinan makes the interception. This one moved up to Trenton Bliss. Bliss on a rush opportunity, skates around behind the net of DeBrouwer, and the puck is intercepted by Arizona State, and this will be an offsides call following James Sanchez in the wrong place at the wrong time. Face-off over on ASU's side.
So far, a good showing there for our ASU, really keeping themselves on the offensive after scoring that last goal, having a 3-0 lead. You might see them start to slow down. That's not been the case so far.
Defensive zone face-off for Arizona State. It'll be Sanchez going with Reitmeyer. Reitmeyer wins the draw on his backhand. Pushed along the blue line. That one goes back to Ford. Save made by DeBrouwer on a quick wrister. He really went out and grabbed that one more than anything. Sun Devils going for a full change, including Jared Gurley and Jacob Wilson moving in on the defensive pair. They were starting tonight, so it'll be the A-line coming out. Sun Devils win the draw back to Jacob Wilson. Wilson moves the puck ahead. That'll be Stewart. Stewart on over to Gurley. Gurley's shot is easily brushed away by Jerusik. The loose puck picked up and the rebound from McKay, and this will be pushed all the way back now. Dimitris Kuzmantzis picking it up in the defensive zone for Arizona State. He's playing a two-way forward position tonight. Really skating all the way up and down. Jacob Wilson for the Sun Devils has it. Connor Stewart can't keep the pass to himself, and instead Seamus Donahue for the Huskies picks up the loose puck in his defensive zone. This one moved to center ice. Receiving it will be Brian Hallinan. Hallinan with the puck finds a wide open Alex Smith. Smith skates around. Got an opportunity here as Smith leaves it at center. The centering pass over to Hallinan. Hallinan in the back corner. Keeping it to himself. Trying to connect with Chris Lippe. But the Sun Devils intercept the puck. Jared Gorley can't connect with Johnny Walker. And it's pushed on back to the Huskies.
Hey swim fans, Zach here. Today we're going to take a look at Zach Pody's 44.1400 backstroke in the prelims of the Pac-12 Conference Championships. It's a pretty packed field. Bryce Mefford, Ty Cohen, and Jack Kirby, and of that in the first 25, he takes just 3 strokes. And watch this second 25 right now as he's coming back 4 strokes to the wall. That's excellent. 7 strokes in the opening 50. Opening 50 ended up being 24.8. His 100 pace is a 23.8 split, so to be 1 second behind your 100 pace and a 200 is great, but can he keep it? Well, obviously he did. This was still the fastest time of the year, 2:46.57. No one really came close to that time. All these guys were sub 41. It was Max Rooney 41.91, Alvin Zhang 41.97, Drew Kibler 41.36, and Daniel Kruger 41.33. Actually, they were the only 4 swimmers in the pool at this invite to all go sub 42, and the only swimmers to go sub 42 with the exception of Noah Reed of U Arizona, who was a 41.94. So this was a super team relay. If you're ever looking to make some money off, there we go. We'll pause it right there. If you're ever looking to make money off someone in a swimming event or at a swim meet, go to the 100 backstroke, wait to see who the last swimmer to emerge from the water is, and bet 20 bucks on them immediately. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the person who wins it. We can see that as the race went on, his underwaters ranged from about 3 to 2.5 seconds. That's a really special number because that means that the whole race he's focusing on underwaters. If you're looking for a place to drop time outside of starts and turns, underwaters should be the first place you look. So he takes 4 strokes on this last lap here. We'll see the push off here. The video tipped over a little bit. There we go. We can see Reese there just in the corner of our screen. He takes 5 strokes to 4 strokes on this last lap. Can't tell exactly, but that finish is perfect. It's not jammed. It's not overstretched. He gets that perfect thing. If you're a breaststroker and you know your stroke count, master your stroke count. You will never have a bad finish. And her underwaters bailed on her race especially. Again, I said, don't get frustrated. Don't start panicking. She has great straight arm freestyle, but don't get right into that. You want to get your momentum of the swim first. So she gets a great angle out of the chair position off the wall there, and she's able to go underwater. She's not going pro-living, she's not going to the bottom of the pool, but she's still getting a great angle off that wall, and she's able to go a little lower than everyone else, get some great whips on the legs and the body, and gets great undulations for those dolphin kicks. And let's just watch this comeback. I mean, she takes it down to the last stroke, and it's a beautiful last stroke at that. She reaches, she doesn't jam it on the wall. Great reach there at the end, a dip. It was 1:35.38. They beat out Mizzou by 0.2 of a second for the SEC crown.